Sagozani Lapamakai. I think this is one of the mostly live streams that people have been wanting me to do. It's so interesting because I have done so many shows interpreting dreams and explaining the significance of dreams. But because I have new followers all the time and also people dream all the time, so people still want to talk about dreams. It shows the importance that they are because it travels you once you dream about something that you don't understand. Once you wake up and you are trying to contemplate what the meaning of a particular dream is. So listen here, I'm going to speak about why we dream, and I'm going to speak about why we don't dream, and I'm going to speak about some of the things you can do to recall your dreams, and I'm going to also speak about some basic dreams or common dreams that people normally dream. What we need to understand firstly is that as spiritual beings having a human experience, so when we actually go into bed and we fall asleep, we then travel as the spirit and interact with other spiritual entities, our ancestors and our spiritual guides. So when we wake up, we actually recall those experiences in which we call them dreams. So when somebody says, I have dreamt, is because they recall an interaction of what happened when their body was rested and their spirit was more awake, that it interacted with other spiritual entities in a spiritual dimension. So some of you recall those things very easily and some of you don't recall those things very easily. Most people who are spiritually gifted, so meaning people who are called into the practice of healing, whether ungoma, psychicness, mediumship, clairvoyancy, and so forth, would ultimately be deeply connected, irrespective of what is it that they do to activate those dreams, because their spirit is always wanting to communicate with them messages from the other side in order for them to use those messages and apply them for the field of practice in which they are called to do. So, and just because you're a dreamer does not necessarily mean that you are then spiritually gifted, but you cannot be spiritually gifted and don't have any dream. And just because you do not remember any of your dreams does not also necessarily mean you are not a spiritually gifted person. And that's why activating that connection is very important. So I wanted to clarify that for people. So many of us also don't recall our dreams because of the type of diet that we consume that is very full of toxins and nutrients. So what we eat really serves us or doesn't serve us. So try to avoid eating heavy meals like your carbohydrates, your high, protein that is from, meat, dairy, and so forth, especially meat, because meat can take up to 3 days to digest in your body, and it actually overburdens your body system, that when you are sleeping you are busy digesting, and even when you are awake you are busy digesting. So to recall those experiences sometimes might be difficult. So try eating light 2 hours to 3 hours before you go to bed and see if you can recall some of your dreams. Sometimes we're not dreaming because we are not connected to the spiritual dimension. We're not connected to our ancestors. Therefore, there's certain things that need to be performed for one to be connected. A simple thing one can do is to put a white cloth over their pillow, because what that does is that it also filters in energy, that when you wake up from those experiences, you can actually be absorbing light energy and then remember those experiences. Sometimes smudge a bit of mpepo before you go into bed, just to clear the energy in your room, the energy in your space. That will also help with recollection of dreams. But sometimes it's deeper and more complex than that, especially for people who don't have a relationship with those who are on the spiritual dimension. So if you're not a person who talks, communicates, and connects with your ancestors, which in our African language we call it ukupahla, khupahla badimu, therefore sometimes the messages become bled up, or you don't recall, or you take and go when it comes to dreams. So you might want to formulate that relationship so that you are then recalling the experiences of what has happened in the spiritual dimension, which we call them dreams. So I gave you a few guidelines on some of the things you can do to recall your dreams. So there's different types of dreams that people are dreaming. So one is that people dream for themselves and their own guidance that they're getting from their spirit world in terms of the things that they needing to be doing, things they need to be aware of, things they need to stop doing as well. So the first dream, the first kind of dream that people can dream of is what we call prophetic dreams. So prophetic dreams are dreams that one dreams of things that are about to happen. They have not yet happened in the physical world, but they're about to manifest in the physical world. So if you are a dreamer and a lot of times those things come to pass, so that is a huge sign that you are spiritually gifted. You are called into the service and to the work of healing. So if you are dreaming and those things do happen, so keep attention of those things. And then sometimes we dream because those things are metaphors, symbols, figures that are helping us piece together puzzles of a bigger puzzle for our own life, or they're giving us warnings or signs of certain things that are not working or that might come our way to disrupt our well-being or our life. So if you're dreaming, for example, of a water, does not necessarily mean that you'll have to go through water initiation or you've got wonderful, powerful water spirits. It can actually just mean that you need to do something with water, because we all know the power of water. Our bodies are made of 70% of water. Everything in life needs water. So it could be that there is something that you need to do that surrounds water. It could be a ritual that needs to be performed at the river or at the ocean. It could be you need a cleansing, or it could be that things are going to start to flow in your life, or abundance it's on its way. Because you also need to realize and recognize that dreams are very subjective. They're objective, so they're not neutral. They speak to you, to your context, to what's going on with you at the particular time in which you are recalling those experiences or you are dreaming. Because if you have just done and completed umsebenzi, for example, and you dream of amanzi amhlophe, it could be, like waters that are clean and clear. Could be, thank you very much. The act in which you've just performed right now says that we have accepted, we have received. So the path in, the path in which, or the next steps, or the next blessing we're gonna give you is as unlimited or as infinite as the waters of the ocean. So that's also very important when you are dreaming, to also view what are you currently in, what is your current state of mind, because that speaks to the third thing why people dream, because people could dream as well because they carry things in their subconscious mind. So if you've experienced past traumas, past pains that you haven't really dealt with or you haven't really healed, they can come back in your dream state. So there are people who might dream being chased or being attacked or being raped or being about to, because there is past pains that are sitting in your subconscious mind that are asking you to pay attention to. Sorry, my nose is stuffy, that's why I had this tissue. I told you. So you could be dreaming of those things because it is a way in which spirit is saying to you, you need to heal those things. So what happens when you are dreaming? So pay attention to how you feel in the dream. That is very important, because how you feel in the dream kind of tells you the state of the dream itself, if this is a bad dream or if this is a dream that is coming with a good message. It's just that when you are in an awakened state, you go back into other dimensions of interpreting and understanding the things that are happening in your life. So you need to understand that we are given belief systems and perceptions around certain things. We are given perceptions and belief systems around animals, for example. So a lot of people would dream of snakes and say, Gogo, I was calm in the dream and the snake came and was around me, or I was surrounded by snakes, or it was leading me somewhere. It was a huge snake, but I wasn't scared in the dream. But when I woke up, then I felt scared, because once you wake up, you also go back to your limited belief system and your conditions of a human being, where you've been told before that snakes are the devil, or snakes are witches, or snakes are this. That brings me to explaining some of the things about the basic dreams that we're dreaming. So every animal you dream of in a dream, most of them have innocent or guidance that they're giving you. It depends on what they do to you in the dream and how you feel about the interactions you are having with those particular animals in the dream. And when you wake up, what also unfolds for you after that. Because if you're having dreams that you are getting signs and warnings of something else. So if you're having a dream of being chased by lions and you are running away from them, and then you wake up and then you get into something, a misfortune, then it means that the lions were warning you about something that was gonna be chasing you, or a death that was gonna come your way, or something that was going to be attacking you. And remember, the animals, snakes for example, are animals of fertility. reality. So they're also connected to people who are spiritually gifted. They're connected to water spirits. So when you are dreaming of snakes as well, it could be that there's a new life, because remember, also entering into a world of spiritual journeys, that's a new life. You might need to be shedding off an old lifestyle and walking into a new one. There's a new birth, there's a rebirth, there's fertility, which is that because snakes shed off all skins all the time. So that's the symbolism of the snake. But if a snake bites you and you feel the pain or you feel a discomfort afterwards, and whatever that you're feeling progresses, you understand that that snake did not come with good intention, then you can interpret that dream as something was attacking you, or there's some, some dark or evil energies that were coming your way. Because it's also very important. I say to people, how do you distinguish that something is ancestral with good intentions and something is evil with bad intentions? So with ancestral things, the misfortunes come and go. They don't progress. You don't get a snake bite that becomes a sore, and a sore becomes a big wound, and a big wound becomes a leg that is septic and it can't function at all, because it just becomes a bite to say, hey, you're not paying attention to us. Then you'll get another dream that speaks of something else, or something else will happen in your life. But if it's an attack, it means wherever and the point of attack that it was targeted at. If it was your legs, because your legs are what makes you function well in society, so they're trying to destabilize your mobility so you can better function, for example, as a soccer player or as a dancer or something like that. It means the leg would then progress in its disability. But if then it's not progressing in its disability, it means then it's not a bad attack. I hope I'm making sense to you. So lions or cats, wild animals, a lot of times people who are born from families with royal lineage, they will see those things. And also spiritually gifted people may see those things. Because when people say you are called, or your ancestors are calling you, they might be calling you for many different things. It's not necessarily that you have to go through and become a sangoma or become ungoma or become a healer, but it could be that you need to go and restore your place on, or your positioning at your homestead. So it could be that so there are things that you need to be doing. If you're a firstborn son and you are being chased by lions, it could be that you need to go back home and find your place as umdlalifa or mjalifa, or the elder son in the family. So they could mean different things, because it's also important not to just take one dream and conclude an entire life well-being of your life as one dream. Pay attention to multiple facets of the dreams and how they collate and speak together. That's why I always say that everybody needs a spiritual healer. We all have doctors, we all have dentists, we all have, we've got places where we do our groceries. So we've got people we go to for other things in our lives, but we don't have spiritual consultants that we go to for understanding when we are stuck, or for going to, and then people then will slide in. And after here, I'm not going to interpret your dreams on DMs. You can go and check out my old podcast of the radio shows that I've done with Radio 2000, where I've extensively interpreted different kinds of dreams. And I'm sure amongst people's interpretation, you'll find a dream similar to yours and you can make sense if you're not feeling comfortable in going to see someone. Because it's very important, if you're a dreamer and you are seeing things unfold and you are dreaming and things are falling apart, you're seeing beads, you're seeing people that you don't know, you're seeing people leading you somewhere, because you can be dreaming being chased. And it could be that your ancestors are calling you. There's something that your family needs for you, because you are not known, so they're calling you to come back. If you dream that like you are falling somewhere or you're dropping from the sky, it could be a warning of that something in your life is about to go down, or something in your life is about to happen that is not going to be pleasant. If you are dreaming of being in a house or in strange places, it's also speaking about it's time you might want to redirect or change direction, or it's time that you go and return home because you came here in Johannesburg for work and you never went back home where you were raised. So dreams can say a lot of things. Like I said, it's very important to understand that the meaning and the specifications of the dreams have to do with you and the context of your life and where you come from, your own ancestral lineage. So they're very subjective. Don't take everybody's dreams interpretation and make it your own dream interpretation, because when you go to a spiritualist, we look into your spiritual archive. We are spiritual encyclopedia, so we'll track back to your great parents and see what has been going on and what's been happening, and then start to collect your dreams and say, oh, based on what you are being shown and what you are seeing, this is what these dreams are meaning, and this is what they are foretelling, and this is what they are predicting, and this is what they are speaking about. So I hope with that very short Motivation with Gogo Dineo. You found some insights on dreams. I will see you on Sunday for the motivation. So this was a special edition on dreams. Continue sending me DMs of things you want to hear, things you want to get motivated on, things you want to get inspired on, because these streams that I do are just me trying to inspire you to do greater and better things for yourself. They're not expert advice, they're not to fix your life, but they inspire you to change for the better for yourself. Love you lots. Love and light. Thank you. Saved.